Good morning, everyone. This is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. Stories we're covering today. A scramble for cash by teachers. I don't know. It seems to be just a sign of our dystopian present here in the United States of America that teachers are scrambling for cash on a hockey rink to the applause of an audience. Yeah, it isn't really Squid Game. It isn't the Hunger Games, but it's a hop, skip, and a jump. You want to just get into the story? You want to talk about the story? All right. Well, I hope if you're watching on Facebook, you come on over to YouTube. I'll be able to read your comments then. But hey, let's have some fun. Fun. Yeah, okay. So I am going to be ending the show today at 9:25, and there will be a happy and uplifting story. Well, okay, it won't be a happy and uplifting story. It'll be about an anti-vaxxer who you may have heard about, who is no longer with us. But first, let's start off with this chipper story. And is there video? There is video I have ready for your viewing pleasure. Here we go, everyone. Links in the description. South Dakota teachers scramble for dollar bills in demeaning game. Footage goes viral showing teachers stuffing notes into clothing to fund classrooms while audience cheers. I don't know how this looks to our friends in Canada, to Australians, to people, in civilized countries that have functioning governments and functioning school systems. I don't know how this is going to look. Probably not good microphone. It's not good. All right, let's do some reading before we take a look at the video. A competition pitting 10 teachers against each other to scramble for dollar bills to fund school supplies in a city in South Dakota has been described as demeaning and drawn comparisons with the Netflix hit series Squid Game. The local newspaper, the Argus Leader, reported $5,000, and that's 3,770 pounds for you Brits, in single dollar bills were laid out in the ice skating rink during the Sioux Falls Stampede hockey game on Saturday night. And the teachers from nearby schools competed to grab as many as possible in less than 5 minutes. Footage of the competition that went viral on social media showed teachers stuffing the notes down their jumpers and into hats while the audience cheered. What are the chances that these teachers are well paid? South Dakota is not an affluent state. I am guessing those teachers are. It's crazy. It's a crazy hypothesis on my part, I know, that the teachers involved are underpaid to begin with. And now they're scrambling to literally stuff money into shirts and pockets, maybe pants. I don't know. Maybe there was a rule against stuffing money into pants just to pay for school, for their classrooms. And as many of you know, or maybe you don't, maybe those of you who don't live in the States, you're not aware of this, but teachers oftentimes take money out of their own pockets to buy supplies for their classrooms. I want to say that again. Many times, teachers will take cash out of their own pockets to buy supplies for their classroom. Let's do the next panel. The money was reportedly donated by CU Mortgage Direct to fund teaching supplies and classroom repairs. You got a leaky pipe? You got a leaky pipe in your classroom? Don't worry. If you stuff enough dollar bills into your shirt, then maybe you'll be able to afford a repair on that. With everything that has gone on for the last couple of years with teachers and everything, we thought it was an awesome group thing to do for the teachers. Ryan Knudsen, man, you can't make up that name, marketing spokesman for CU Mortgage Direct, told the Argus Leader. You see, this, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to go on the rant until after we see the footage, everyone. The American Federation of Teachers president Randy Weingarten tweeted that the display was demeaning. This just feels demeaning. Teachers shouldn't have to dash for dollars for classroom supplies, she said. No doubt people intended it to be fun, but from the outside, it feels terrible. I promised you video, ladies and gentlemen and small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri, and here is the footage of the cash grab, of the cash scramble. Okay, I'm going to check out microphone before I editorialize anymore. I'm going to check out what our viewers have to say about this in the chat. See what's going on over here. John Hudson says, this is extremely ill, but it goes to show what some teachers will do to help out their students. That is correct. Yes, Tesla Ranger, South Dakota is a red state. Yeah, there's lack of surprise that it would go on in a red state. Scapegoat says, and good morning, Scapegoat Iscariot. I was in school in the 70s and 80s. I remember overhearing teachers mentioning they're purchasing some supplies because the money wasn't there. Right, that money comes from their own pocket. That money comes from their own pocket to buy school supplies for their classrooms. So, Rage, you got to say late stage capitalism. You have to say late stage capitalism 3 times, and the raging atheist appears. That's what happens. What happens to the money that isn't scooped up? Now that's a good question, Cryptameria. I would be interested in finding that out. What happened to the money not scooped up? Set it on fire in the parking lot and laugh? Sure, why not? Why not? So there have been official apologies on the bank's part because they realized that they were in the trouble bubble, having teachers basically compete for repairs of their classrooms and for basic school supplies. Good morning, Blazing Wizard Pope. Hey, you're just in time. You want to see that? You want to see, in case you're new, in case you just popped in here, let's take a look at this one more time. This viral video one more time about teachers scrambling for cash at a hockey event in this town in South Dakota. Just when you think the horribleness can't get any more horrible, I don't know how many horribles that is. There's no bottom. There is no bottom. All right, check out the chat one more time before we go to the next story. I'm sure the solution is religious homeschooling. Good point, imaginary God. I'm glad that you're here to point out that important point. Well, it's a good question, Blazing Wizard Pope, about why the teachers were wearing helmets to begin with. Were there cases of headbutting? Probably because they were on the ice, right? They were on the ice and they didn't want to fall. But did you notice the gentleman with the furry hat on top of his helmet? I think that might be either cheating or capitalist innovation. That's what that is. He obviously had the hat to stuff more money into the hat. Job well done. Dee Parks, glad to see that you're here. Black female atheist, pleasure to see you. I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a thing on Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's soon. Over at the Tang channel. Going to be doing this co-host thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow. And of course, there's the after party after show today at 9:30. In case you want to be on the panel, the link is in the description below. What's up, Ian Davenport? How you doing? Scapegoat Iscariot says, how many movements are we away from fight to the death for deeds? Well, there was a great article in The Economist, this week's Economist. I was just reading it before starting the show about how there's something called Section 8 housing here in the States. It's basically the government gives you a housing voucher. You have to pay 30% of your income, but they take care of your other renting needs, your lease. So there is about approximately 10.4 million people who need housing vouchers, right? And that includes families too. But the housing vouchers that are available are only 2.3 million. So yeah, so it's a lottery system basically, and people can be on wait for Section 8 housing for years. But this is not a glitch of the system. This is a baked in part of the system, is to make poor people fight against each other. It is a feature of the system. It isn't a glitch of the system. It is to make poor people compete for scraps. Oh, man. All right. Let's do the next story. Because the United States of America, it isn't only about class issues. No, it's not. It's kind of, sort of about race. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this term, banking while black. And if you haven't heard about it, you're going to hear about it right now. Link in the description, everyone. Don't say anything stupid because you're just going to get arrested. Black man handcuffed after bank falsely claims his paycheck was fake. Falsely claimed. They told the police that they had checked that this paycheck was fake when they had not. Was it because this young gentleman happened to be black? What are the chances of that happening? Pretty freaking high. Joe Morrow, a Minnesota man, was the victim of what many call banking while black after being put in handcuffs after attempting to cash his paycheck inside a U.S. bank branch in suburban Minneapolis last October. Morrow told KSTP-TV reporters that despite having an account with the bank, I don't think that I can pitch my voice up enough to highlight the insanity of this. Despite having an account with a bank, employees at the branch in Columbia Heights, Minnesota, were all looking at me and just staring at me, and then looking at the check and then staring at me again. And I'm already knowing what they're thinking, that the check is fake. And here's the gentleman just hanging out in the office. Morrow, who moved to Minnesota from Mississippi last year and worked as an order picker, said the incident began well before the police had arrived at the bank, where he attempted to cash a check for roughly $900. The man said he was informed by the bank's manager, John Asquith, who is the real villain in this story, besides capitalism. But yeah, Mr. Asquith is the real villain here. That the check was fraudulent, and that here comes you people always coming in here with fake checks. I'm going to say it again for the people in the cheap seats. This is what the bank's manager told this gentleman. You people always coming in here with fake checks. Gosh, do you think that was racially motivated? When Sergeant Justin Pletcher arrived, police body camera footage showed Morrow already in Asquith's office, leaning back in a chair, hands folded. The 23-year-old maintained that the check was indeed real. I work there, bro. I'm going to report you too, bro. This is racial. Morrow was heard talking calmly, without expletives, to the manager before he was cautioned about his allegations of racial profiling. Joe, I need you to calm down, first of all, okay? Don't say anything stupid, because you're just going to get arrested for it, the officer then warned Morrow. Listen, you're just speaking the truth, sir. Speak the truth and you're going to get arrested here in the United States of America. Soon afterward, another police officer arrived. The manager, who is blurred in the video, told authorities that the check was fake and that he already confirmed it with Morrow's employer. However, and I'm going to say it one more time. However, it was later proved that Asquith only called for verification after Morrow was removed from the office. Again, Asquith only called for verification after Morrow was removed from his office. When he did, the employer told him the check was genuine. It wasn't until this guy was taken out of the office in handcuffs that the manager actually called to check and see if the check was true, was real. The video shows Morrow quickly getting up from the chair, whereupon he is immediately put in handcuffs. When I'm coming out of the office, I was handcuffed. People were looking like I'm a criminal or something, Morrow said. The bank initially claimed, now we know this, people are going to say they did nothing wrong, right? Until there's so much damning evidence that they have to either admit it or be ridiculous and double down. Most companies will say, once the video evidence gets out there, that maybe, perhaps, possibly they did something wrong. The bank initially claimed, we dispute the facts as they're being portrayed, when contacted in October by KSTP. Lee Henderson, a spokesperson for U.S. Bank, said that Morrow's race had nothing to do with how the bank employees treated him. I'd like to hear the apologetics about the defense of you people are always coming in here with fake checks. I'd like to hear the defense about how that isn't racist. After a thorough internal investigation, there is nothing to indicate that the customer's race or ethnicity played a factor in the service he received at this branch, Henderson said. But this week, the bank was more contrite, with U.S. Bank CEO Andy Sissy, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that, issuing a statement Friday, December 10th that said in part, I am deeply sorry for where we have failed. What Mr. Morrow experienced is not the experience that any customer should have. Sometimes, unfortunately, we don't live up to our goals. How are you going to make that right, Mr. CEO? You can say all the platitudes you want. You can say all the platypuses and the platitudes that you want. But unless there's some kind of compensation, your words ring hollow. People need to be fired. The gentleman arrested, taken out in cuffs, needs to be compensated. More than just words. Gonna check out the chat. How on earth could he not win the case against that? Okay, so maybe I gotta like catch up with the chat and see what's going on with this, man. The GOP, we want to give people a safety net. They want to watch you fight for the death for it. Yeah, that's about right, Rage. Meanwhile, this is Blazing, of course, who is in Denmark. In 2012, the Chinese president came to buy, and two cops decided to infringe on people's freedom of speech by taking 186 Tibet flags from people. Wow, both got fired. You got to fire people. You just got to fire people. When they do things egregiously wrong, you have to fire people. And you're right, girlfriend, George Floyd, died over $20. Well, this is true. It seems like you can't even work in the country without being judged and profiled. This is true. There is it doesn't matter how much money you have in the United States of America. If you don't look the right way in some communities, it doesn't matter. And that is something to be sad and angry about at the same time. All right. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to relax a little bit. I'm going to center myself. How do I make my day brighter? Microphone. It starts with a C and ends with cats. That's right. All right. I'm going to lighten things up and let's do some cats.
Wait a second, what are those things? You're unleashing them? Get me out! Holy shit, they're swarming me! They're swarming me! Demons spawn! Get me out of... Ugh! I barely escaped with my life that day. Sorry, I just, apparently they're called puppies. I like to call them fluffy little demons. Yeah. So, anyways, that's why I hate puppies.
I just want to say officially that the Laughing in Disbelief channel, we are not anti-puppies. We are pro-cats. That's what I'm saying right here, right now. All right, last story. I don't know. I don't know what your Schadenfreude level is. You come to this channel, we have some laughs, we look at cats, but we're over 2 years, around 2 years into this pandemic, and this new variant, and people are still refusing to get vaccinated. They're refusing to wear masks, and it makes it worse for everyone. It makes it worse for people who are immune compromised, who can't get the vaccine. It's horrible for people who are elderly, who don't have great immune systems. These people who refuse to get vaccinated are just, the words fail me, everyone. Words fail me. So when something like this happens that involves someone being unvaccinated, getting COVID, and not making it, I'm not going to say we should celebrate it, because that would be wrong, right, microphone? We shouldn't celebrate those things, right? Oh, what? Hey, you can't do that. You can't say we should celebrate. Hey, I'm going to put you off camera, off frame here. Let's take a look. I think the link is in the description, everyone. A man whose wife won a lawsuit to treat his COVID-19 with ivermectin has died. What? You mean the ivermectin didn't save his life? I'm surprised. Keith Smith, whose wife had gone to court to have his COVID-19 infection treated with ivermectin, died Sunday evening, a week after he received his first dose of the controversial drug. He was 52. Smith was in a hospital in Pennsylvania for nearly 3 weeks and had been in the hospital's intensive care unit in a medically induced coma on a ventilator since November 21st. He had been diagnosed with the virus on November 10th. When asked his wife, they asked his wife, hey, did your husband, was he vaccinated? And she goes, I don't have to tell you that. That's a private matter. And what does that mean? Microphone, of course he wasn't vaccinated. That's what that means. That's not even difficult code to translate. His wife of 24 years, Darla, had gone to court to compel the hospital, UPMC Memorial, to treat her husband with ivermectin, an anti-parasitic drug that has not been approved for treatment in COVID-19. You know why it hasn't been approved? Because it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't fucking work. That's why. And now he is dead. I am not shedding a tear for him. I don't think if you could shed tears, microphone, you would shed tears for him either. Of course not. I'm going to check out the chat. We're running down on time. Let's check out what's going on. Well, who would have guessed? You can't treat a virus like a parasite. No. Once again, no studies to show that ivermectin works in any way, shape, or form. All right. I'm going to throw down some cats before closing up the show. Let's do some cats.
I don't know what drugs you took this morning, but this is unacceptable behavior. Do you hear me? Kitten? Do you hear me? Kitten?
The cat hears. The cat doesn't care. Look, no ads on this show, everyone. You know that, right? Thank you to all the supporters. Thank you for people who do super chats. Super chats is still a thing. You can super chat me if you really want to. Throw in a couple of shekels. Thank you to patrons. Thank you to YouTube members. Thank you for people who PayPal me, Venmo, and everything. Wow, we're about to close the show up. I'm about to close the show up. Thank you, everyone. This time goes really fast. I'll see you at 9:30 for the after party after show. Maybe. If you want to join the panel, you can be on the panel as long as we know you. Someone can vouch for you that you are a known. How's that? All right. I'll see you at 9:30.